Oh,
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Near Disney. It's the Wednesday show where us panel of local real estate experts and Disney enthusiasts get together to bring you in on a group chat for all things that are happening within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. There's going to be a lot of Disney themes that we touch on in the stream today. This was a huge news week for all things to do with Disney, and we've got updates as well for just real estate market around Disney and what the company itself is doing for the parks and its entertainment scope. But first, let's just introduce ourselves before we jump into all of that. I'm Elijah Lewis with Florida in Motion Realty. They call me the Prince of Real Estate here on Near Disney. And in the sort of Brady Bunch square next to me.
Hey everyone, I'm Virginia Carlson, also with Florida in Motion Realty, and here on Near Disney, I'm known as Cinderella. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And down below.
Hi everyone, I am Sue Koptiev, of course, with Florida in Motion Realty, and my moniker is Aurora. And yes, we are happy you have joined us tonight.
Yes, fortunately, we just got hit with little technical difficulties just for the stream. That's why Sue is kind of had to make do with broadcasting from her phone. So she looks a little narrower there, not because she's a third as important as our screen size, but just because that was the best we can.
Not because I'm narrow. I'm not narrow in mind.
You are narrow, not narrow-minded, but
thank y'all.
Judge me by my size, do you? No. Yoda. Star Wars is Disney now, so I can jump in.
There you go.
Yes, you can.
So, big thing this week. D23, the ultimate Disney fan event for 2026, took place this week. We'll just share some quick highlights from that as people are jumping in the studio. Definitely let us know if you followed anything from D23 and if any announcement was your favorite, because this is the 9th D23 that they've done from Anaheim, California, with like their panels and showcasing their products and their vision for the future of what Disney's going to do. It's a 3-day convention. And so it definitely laid out the case for the biggest movies that they have. Princess Diaries 3, they doubled down and say, yes, that is still happening. Anne Hathaway took the stage, and man, oh man, that is like, I was a Disney Channel kid myself. And like those were, I mean, that was just right my demographic when I came out. And so it's just crazy to see that she's still up and at it. And I guess she's having a moment here being in the Odyssey and the Devil Wears Prada 2 and the movie that just came out last week with the dinosaurs, the end of Oak Street. And so it's awesome to see that she still has time to honor her Disney roots as well while she's being a superstar. And then the Simpsons movie, that is still happening. I guess it's not called the Simpsons movie 2, but rather the new Simpsons movie. And they played like some clips of funny hand-drawn animation still. Like it seemed like everything's turning 3D, including Bluey, like, the biggest kid show in the world that's hand-drawn on the TV is, they're making the movie out of it, and that's getting like they're doing the 3D CGI thing. But the Simpsons is staying hand-drawn, and they played like this whole funny segment where like Homer is running around trying to catch a baseball from a baseball game, and they like end up like going all around the town trying to catch it. The Incredibles 3 got confirmed. I think that like Disney was saying like with their financials they were going to double down on sequels, and they definitely introduced that in full force. Some very surprising sequels were announced at the D23. Incredibles 3 came to be announced, and they kind of highlighted this like helmeted, hooded Darth Vader looking villain guy that they teased. But this looks to be like very early stages. So not really too much to share there, but hey, involvement with Brad Bird. So basically another one that was announced is Coco 2, and Coco will also announced to be a theme for the Kingdom Hearts 4 video game that Disney has as an intellectual property, big franchise. So yeah, going back to the world of Coco will be a lot of fun. It's just wild to think that like that came out in 2017, and here we are 10 years later.
Mhm.
These things are amazing. Like they take sometimes like 10 years to get their follow-up, and you really grow up a lot in between revisiting them. Like,
Mhm.
the 12-year-old Mexican boy with dreams of becoming a musician ends up in the land of the dead during the Day of the Dead, Miguel. And so, yeah, more continued adventures of him that'll push him to his limits.
Mm.
Kingdom Hearts getting a show, some more original. At least, so they said they're going to double down on sequels, but like it does seem like Gato and stuff is at least giving Pixar a way to flex its original creative muscles. Maybe they'll get a hit and create a new franchise.
Mhm.
Toy Story
Ooh.
5, Lilo and Stitch 2 coming out. Now that's an example of they brought it to life rather than having it stay hand drawn. Percy Jackson trying to get the Jonas Brothers came out to show Camp Rock 3. There's that Bluey movie I told you about where they've taken it CG. Ice Age is back. Wow, I didn't know that. I guess, yeah, when Disney acquired Fox, I think that made them get Ice Age.
Mhm.
Tangled's live action. Oswald, that's kind of interesting. Like a film for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Like that dude was like one of the original
Oh
1920s cartoons,
gosh.
like drawn in the style of Mickey's, like the rabbit version of Mickey.
Yep.
Yeah.
No gloves here, right? No,
Yep.
no gloves. And of course, almost here, Frozen 3, another look at the Avengers, more Star Wars, all that good stuff. Anyway, they even announced Zootopia 3, and that took 10 years to come out. So what I want to know is we'll keep track of all these wonderful, like, projects that are going to be the future and the core and the vision board for Disney. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if some of this stuff was like 10 years till we actually see it. But it's
Yeah.
kind of fun to get these formal announcements that they're underway.
Mhm.
But Sue, we'll throw things over to the Disney real estate side, to let you know that all the parks, and we do. You didn't want to overload you with Disney news as well, but we got a lot of news this week about what they're doing for the vision of Disney World, the park, as well. We'll get to that just kind of at the end, so please stay tuned because there's some really fun announcements and
Yeah.
rumors that have paid off to actually be real. But as far as like living near Disney, which is the main point of this channel, what do you have here, Sue?
What I found is this is just a little snippet of talking about what your budget, if you're looking to purchase a home, can buy in the near Disney World area, like for us at near Disney. So, and hey, wouldn't you want to be first, front, and center with all the stuff that was announced, or a lot of it at D23, and just kind of be right in the hubbub of where a lot of that is going to be landing, and people are going to be able to enjoy so much of the benefits of just everything that they're doing, including what Elijah will be telling you towards the end of the show. But so this is it's pretty self-explanatory, but I just wanted to go over some of this. If you're, on the left, you see budget. If you're looking at somewhere between 300 to 350,000, if you're not familiar with our area, Davenport is very, very close to Kissimmee and Celebration. And Orlando is not actually where Disney World's located; it's mostly in Kissimmee. But we're all very close. I mean, everybody's like really kind of tucked in here together. And in Davenport, for that price, you're going to get smaller single-family homes, probably newer, and possibly even new construction, townhomes as well. 400,000, you could still be in Davenport and Kissimmee, some of Claremont area. You've got newer construction options and communities within the Disney corridor, and more choices as far as bedrooms. You're definitely going to be able to get a 3-bedroom, possibly a 4-bedroom. And then as we move on up the scale, you're looking at going into Claremont and the 34747 Kissimmee area, and then Horizon West, which is a really large area between, how do I say, it's off of the 429 and it's in between the north part of Kissimmee and all the way up to Winter Garden. And in fact, a lot of it is considered Winter Garden. You can get very, very workable, nice single family homes there. Celebration will usually mean in that price just a townhome, condo, or a smaller footprint. But you can definitely get something in Celebration that I'm sure that you would, if that's a place that you've always wanted to live, definitely check that out. Because even if you're wanting something larger, but you want to get your foot in Celebration, then that is definitely the way to go. 5 to 600,000, you're definitely going to be in a larger range. This is they called this a crossover range, and all I could think about was like crossover vehicles when they went from minivans to SUVs. That's what they called them, was crossovers. Um, they did. Lifestyle location versus square footage, pool or newer home, depending on the community. And then you're just going to go on all on the way up from there. That just the 600,000 and above really just opens you up to a lot more options. A lot of it is going to be larger homes, premium lots. Some already with pools, luxury pools. And so then on the right, I liked this takeaway. Celebration is a lifestyle and walkability, and again, a smaller footprint. Claremont is newer, larger homes. You got some hills and a little more space in between your communities and the homes inside the community. And then for Kissimmee and Davenport, you are going to get more bedrooms and pools and a lot more resort style option communities for your hard-earned dollar. So keep that in mind. But then, the areas that shows here the current market anchors, the median sale prices go from 316 up to 705,000, and not all that long on the days on the market. So these are some questions just to think about. Do you want the Disney area lifestyle, or are you looking for the most house that you can get for your money? Are you still really focused on newer construction? And is that more important to you than the location per se? Uh, are the HOA and CDD fees, pool care, and homeowners insurance, and even taxes? Is this all part of your true monthly budget?
Hmm.
And then how close to Disney do you really want to be? Those are four things that we absolutely, not just the rest of this graph here, but those four questions that I just asked are definitely the things that you need us for, especially if you are coming from out of the area or out of state, because we can walk you through all of that, especially when you're talking about extra fees, whether it's HOA, CDD, pool care, again, or your homeowner's insurance or taxes or just one of those, or all of them combined. So we've got that pretty dialed in. And if we're not able to give you the answer like right away on any specific homes that you're looking for, we will find the answer for you. But usually it's right there in our access, and we can get you those answers so you're not wondering which step do I take next? Which direction am I actually going to go? So we partner with you, we work alongside you, and we want to help you through that, because the last thing any of us want is for someone to relocate here and then end up in a situation where, their money didn't buy them everything that they hoped it would. And so, that's really, real, really, really important. And again, that's why we're here.
Yes, that's why we're here and why our phone numbers are on the screen. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I love this chart that you presented here, Sue. If anyone's watching and you're thinking about buying, or you're thinking about getting in touch with us, or know someone who's looking to buy into Disney, maybe screenshot this chart. That's a great resource for you just to have as a conversation starter. For the different areas that will have you right near Disney. And in addition to these, we can talk to you about the difference between having a short-term rental lifestyle, a part-time residence versus like that full-time residence homestead, or you want to rent it out for like long-term tenants. We can do all that. Whether your strategy is investment or staying here and your family in a good area with wonderful things to do. That's what we're here for. So thanks for that breakdown, Sue, for sure. And yeah, I do want to share with you also just we do have something wonderful on the market in Celebration, Florida, the town that was built by Disney. Sue definitely highlighted that there's all these different price points as a way to get into that community and buy in. The inventory is incredibly low at the moment, but we do have some wonderful luxury property right now that is offering great incentive. I would love to just take a moment to share with you the video for a listing we have in that's near a good walking trail that goes into the downtown Celebration. That's also in a private enough area that's not too heavily trafficked. 816 Runner Oak Street. We just had a beautiful price reduction, of course, to 1,414,000, and we also just want to share awesome news that the seller is offering a 3% buy down for the interest rate. So that's a great seller credit that you're not
It's
seeing too
huge.
much in a low inventory market. So I'll play you the video here. This is a wonderful home that has, you'll take a moment to notice, you'll see it has a screened in pool and 2 primary bedrooms, one on the first, one on the second floor. Yes, glad to give you a glimpse of lovely downtown Celebration as well, just to remind you of the
Beautiful.
strengths of the community there. So yeah, I mean, as you saw, a beautiful single family home backs to the conservation there where you see those trees behind it. That's a great
Mhm.
premium. Really close to community pools in the area, in addition to having its own caged in pool in the back that had some of those
Mhm.
fun the previous owner was a big SeaWorld aquatic animal trainer, so he had those mosaic tiles put in for like turtles and dolphins that make it beautiful. As you can see, amazingly renovated inside. The owner really took it like down to the studs to give you these beautiful finishes. And so just to re-emphasize, we had a price reduction to 1,414,000. That's 1414000, and we're just under 3,000 square feet for the heated area. And of course, offering you, the seller is willing to buy down the buyer's interest rate with a 3% credit. So that's an awesome thing to see, even in a market where it's low inventory. And it's beautiful space like this for your office. Just share that beautiful opportunity to you, just in case anyone you know. I mean, I've been getting a lot of calls lately, people wanting pool homes, they want screened in. And maybe if you're someone who watches from up north, you're thinking like, oh, I mean, it's back to school season, it's pool weather's over with. Well, not in Florida.
Not really.
And it was hot today. It was sunny today. And it was a great day, and it's going to continue to be a great day for pool weather for some months now. So it'll continue to be a strong checklist item, and I like that. That's kind of a little pass-through window from the primary closet into the laundry. So lots of fun little unique features like that.
Yes, definitely.
With that, I think we'll throw it over to your article that you brought up, Virginia, on the topic of that was a resale listing, but you're saying a little market update on new construction, contrasting with resale.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls from potential buyers that question, should I go the new construction route or do I go for a resale? And there's a lot of pros and cons for both. And so we thought we would just kind of touch upon that this evening. Purchasing real estate in a 25-mile radius of Disney requires, balancing the trade-offs of new construction brings modern energy efficiency and substantial developer financing incentives. You get a lot of incentives from the builders. However, established resale homes offer unbeatable proximity to the parks, larger lot sizes, and immediate rental readiness or short-term vacation portfolios, if that's what you're interested in as a buyer. So just to kind of break things down, we will go through the features of new construction versus resale. The first one we're going to touch on is primary location. So the outer ring growth sectors are kind of like 15 to 25 miles out, like Davenport or Claremont, Horizon West. However, I will say that Celebration, we do have Island Village that has new construction. And then alternatively, for the resale, you have already prime, fully established communities really close, like within 0 to 10 miles, Windermere, Dr. Phillips, and Celebration, for instance. The financial incentives that new construction, they're pretty aggressive about mortgage rate buy downs and closing cost credits if you use their lenders. And that's a great incentive for a lot of buyers. And then conversely, standard market rates apply. And, for resale, financial concessions must be directly negotiated with the individual sellers, which a lot of sellers are willing to do. So you kind of have to weigh what is the new construction going to offer versus a resale seller. And then this is a big one, the insurance and energy. With the new construction, the modern lower cost on savings for utilities, because a lot of these new constructions, which we've talked about all the time on the show, about how these new construction builds are really energy efficient. And so that's a big deal. And when it comes to your monthly costs. And so for resale, the older systems, people kind of get into, I have to maintain, and, I might have to have cash reserves for aging roofs or HVAC. So another thing to consider when you're weighing the two. Timelines is a big deal. If you're starting from the ground up, it's going to take you 8 to 14 months to start to finish. Whereas obviously resale, it's ready to go. You could close within 30 days. And so that timelines are a big deal for people, depending on what your specific situation is. And then we have the fees. There are standard HOAs with both. The CDDs in new construction to maintain and build the public infrastructure, those might be high, but some, it just depends on the community. And then, of course, the resale communities, they rarely carry any CDD fees. However, a lot of communities around here do have the HOA. So that's kind of like a wash. You can weigh them, and you're going to find HOA fees probably in both. And then short-term rentals are funny. It has to be established in a community whether you can do short-term rentals. For instance, Celebration does not have short-term rentals, but there are a lot of communities right around here that do the short-term rentals. And you have to, if that's what you're aiming for, obviously you want to kind of flush that out before you even start. Why choose new construction? I think the financial defense is modern engineering, and it mitigates the steep cost of Florida homeowners insurance, which we were talking about the roof and all the things that might affect your homeowners insurance. And then you can customize it. If you're building new construction, you can choose the finishes, you can choose the lot, all those kind of things that are really appealing to people who want to start from the ground up. But then, of course, the resale, you just have instant, you can move in, and there's cash flow if you're looking to make it a short-term rental. So there's just a lot of things to consider when you're wanting to buy something, and we're here to kind of talk you through all of those options. There's definitely a lot going on, but and again, we're here to help you through all that.
Being that builder's warranty is great, getting that assurance that everything's new, or that it's, some people just, they don't want a used house for whatever reason.
Exactly.
But that the only thing is like location. New construction communities can come up in desirable locations for sure, or expanding master plans, or there's going to be cool stuff coming down the road. And you could just kind of buy into it as like a vision for the future. But, sometimes it's like with an existing home, kind of like the one that I just showed minutes ago in Celebration. That home was taken down to the studs and made like it was new construction. And that still gets to be like right near the downtown of Celebration, Florida, which is getting to be a 30-year-old community, So we, as your agents, will be savvy on like a street by street basis with this farming area, and, kind of let you know what's a good fit for you based on how we understand your needs.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very individual thing, and people have kind of in their minds what they're looking for when they start out, but we like to kind of weigh the pros and cons of both options. So, it might change someone's mind, or it might keep them right on track. So anyway.
That's
absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing that. And so we'll throw it over to you, Sue. You had some tips for relocating to the Orlando area.
Yes, and some of this Virginia has already hit on, and I do want to say that it would not be the first time for any of us to have a client who has decided they want new construction, and then they do end up finding the resale that just checks all of their boxes, and vice versa. So you kind of have to keep an open mind until you see what we have available in what areas. But on this, for you got to choose your lifestyle first, and that's going to
Sue? Oh, shoot. We lost you. You don't see Sue, do you, Virginia?
I don't.
Okay. Make sure it just wasn't me. Sorry, Sue. I don't know why you cut out. Hope your phone didn't die or something. But are you coming back? Okay. Well, we will just kind of leave it there with Sue. Sorry, we just had technical difficulties from her today. Out of our control. But yeah, I mean, sometimes.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, take it away.
Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
We were doing so well.
Can you hear Virginia?
Can you hear me?
Wow.
Okay. Sue, we might have you.
Well, Elijah, if you can hear me, go ahead and take it.
Yeah. So we might
Take
have
the
you.
rest of it.
Okay. Might have you dip out. But that's okay. We understand technical difficulties. But yeah, you're right. This does cover a little bit of what Virginia was just talking about. Understand the difference in Florida insurance. The beautiful thing is that more insurance agencies were coming back. There was some of them got a little gun shy, a little scared when there was rough hurricane season a number of years ago. But then suddenly, they started to realize that, well, there's a lot of Central Florida homes that aren't going to be so heavily impacted, and we could, bring ourselves back into the state. So we are seeing more insurance options, and we can, go over with you about what your options are. Of course, new construction, just always be aware of like lot premiums and stuff. Like they always get you in with that, like homes under 300,000,
Yeah.
and then you come in and you realize like, oh, well, there's a lot premium for where they built this home, and there were finishes that they added on that, weren't the standard builder grade. And, maybe there were some
Right.
other things that factored in. And so, when it comes to new construction, like Virginia was talking about, we got to like kind of prep you that there's a little bit of that reading between the lines there. But there should be, at least at the end of the day, a plan where you just say, that's okay, I could do my own renovations later, I just want to buy in at this price and
Right.
take advantage of getting a good house for the family at a something that's not $500,000 or more. And of course, everyone's gonna have their own definition of what close to Disney means. I mean, we are literally minutes away in Celebration with that World Drive road that like goes directly into like the parks.
Yes.
That's the beautiful thing about the town that was built by Disney. Disney, of course, made sure that we had a way to get in there and be very privileged in that way. But sometimes it's like, well, if you don't need to just be 10 minutes to Magic Kingdom per se, if half an hour or 40 minutes is close enough for you to like get up early and make a day of it and get home,
Right.
that's fine. That's fine. So that's pretty close to Disney. I mean, I know we drive like an hour to the beach here,
Yeah.
beach day, and
No big
so
deal.
if you want to have a Disney day, we can definitely set you up, and the price will reflect if the farther away you get. And focus on roof, AC, windows. We gotta. If you love the house, we can walk in. Just be prepared to have a conversation about if that roof is getting up there over 10 years, or if air conditioner is at the end of its life. For the most part, those are things that that seller is going to run into, no matter who the potential interested buyer is, especially if we make a case like, hey, this is going to cause an insurance issue. Hopefully there can be some accommodation there, or at least work it into the price.
Right.
And a lot of people want a pool. We have some listings right now where people want to put a pool in there, and we're really fortunate that it has like big lot size and large yard. Some people just say, no, don't put a pool in there. I just want to have big barbecues and parties out in the back. We'll set up some tents and stuff. But hey, if you want a pool, we definitely know contractors who can, get it approved with the HOA and find the right fit for you and the price point, because if you add that screen enclosure, if you add that heating feature, if you add that spa and that awesome waterfall feature and the lights and the mosaic tile like Kim had, it can add up. So we'll definitely walk you through like how much pool do you need, but it's all possible.
Exactly.
What are we talking here? Between 50 grand to 300 grand,
Yeah. I mean, sky's the limit, right?
All right. So hopefully I did well enough for you there, Sue, on your article. I did just want to real quick mention that I saw something this week that was interesting. So like this government is talking about prioritizing or at least running in the midterms on a proposed capital gains tax change. They're saying that like 2 changes proposed ahead of the midterms aimed at benefiting homeowners and investors. Basically, it would pertain to a larger capital gains exemption for primary home sales. Interesting, seeing as we're just in the state of Florida talking about like cutting down property taxes for primary, homesteaded homes. They're going to vote on that this basically midterm election too. And so basically right now, the current $250,000 for single, $500,000 for married or filing jointly is your capital gains. But basically, they're talking about some of them are songs like we're doubling the limit to like $1 million for married couples, and some, and especially when we work in a luxury market, like Celebration, like Reunion, like some of these like winter park areas and Horizon, we definitely have homes that meet that price points where people in that luxury market can benefit. And basically indexing capital gains to inflation is another thing that's being proposed. So basically indexing the cost basis of assets to inflation before calculating capital gains. So, I mean, sometimes we don't love to talk about these things because it's like politicians make promises and who knows what's actually going to happen and what, you know, we don't want to get people's hopes up, but like that's kind of what we thought about with the DeSantis talking about the homestead exemption, you know, property tax reduction. And then all of a sudden they saw them, suddenly the Florida Congress was passing it, the Florida Senate was passing it, and it's actually coming to the ballot. So this kind of pie in the sky, promise you rainbows and uniform campaign promises is something that we could really vote on to get progress on. And so, hey, just show you that when this kind of stuff comes up, we talk about it. And if it starts to manifest in any real material way, we'll definitely talk about it even more.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. We kind of already touched on this a little bit, so I'm just going to skip this now. We're kind of buttressing that half-hour mark, getting past it. Just want to share, as a Monty Python fan, Dr. Phillips Center is going to have Spam-A-Lot, the musical adaptation of the Monty Python's Holy Grail in musical form. It's a beautiful venue, the Dr. Phillips Center. That's going to mark your calendars for November 3rd, Tuesday, November 4th, Wednesday, November 5th, Thursday. And every time I see those kinds of numbers, I always think about election days. Because this usually falls on one of those. But,
exactly.
But yeah, that's
exciting.
I did say that we'd mentioned some of the things that were happening to Disney World as well, that they were being added in all of the hubbub of news announcements. They doubled down on some of these. Basically, there's been a lot of talk about Tomorrowland that's coming to fruition. Where the heck is it? I had stuff on Tomorrowland. But anyway, the Yeti is getting remodeled. That dinosaur area is being taken away and is turning into like a sort of a South American flair for like Coco themed.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. coming to Hollywood Studios with Monstropolis by the Pixar movie. And of course, it's going to have that Harryhausen sushi restaurant that you saw in the film, as well as a Big Scare pizza place. Love to see some more theme park dining come in. Cars getting a ride. And of course, more Star Wars. And even this Magic Villains Land. So this Maleficent themed ride that's coming to Villains with some beautiful concept art. I just love the very striking colors from Sleeping Beauty. Like those greens will be burned and etched into your memories. And I think I saw that like they said they were rethinking how they were going to approach Villains Land because they wanted it to be even more bold and even more even better than what the Imagineers were initially envisioned with it. So I hope they do. I hope they make it world class because Universal Studios really did not pull any punches with how high quality and world class they did with the Epic Universe attractions that came with like How to Train Your Dragon and the Universal Monsters and Nintendo Land and stuff. So
cool.
Always love to see Disney World.
Yeah, for sure.
Because right now, I'm in that phase where I usually alternate between passes. And right now I do have the Universal pass rather than the Disney. But like once all that stuff comes in, I'm going to probably have to switch back and check it out. I usually give them a chance, like a few years to check out what's new with these guys and then check out what's new with when the next one starts building.
Yeah, it's cool. I can't wait.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone. So sorry that Sue's audio cut out, but you know, these things happen. Okay. And we had her for most of the stream.
Yes.
So, it's just a reminder that all of our phone numbers are here, and we would love to represent you, whether you're buying or selling, or just give you a conversation about what the market is looking like for an area near Disney for your real estate needs for you or anyone you know. Hit the like button. Please subscribe. Definitely helps us expand our reach for the channel so we can grow and continue to deliver this news. And with that, I think we'll throw it over to Kim Hawk, the fairy godmother of real estate, to sign us out. Have a good one.
Bye.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.